How's it going, everyone? And just a quick disclaimer before we get into this video. These aren't this isn't a definitive list, basically. These are things that I found out and that personally work for me. They might not work for you, that's fair enough, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So we're gonna jump straight in with number 10, and that is how to get down fast. Now, getting down fast, it depends how you're playing. If you're playing in a solo, then you don't need to go to all the outside, all the inside sort of big areas like Pleasant or Greasy. You just need to go to an outside house, loot up that house for yourself, and because you're only trying to equip one person. Like, obviously for squads it's different. You want to go to a town, you want to go to a bit of a bigger settlement, because you want 4 people's worth of goods. That's why we find it quite easy with duos to go to the edge, drop over the ocean, so because your glider deploys depending on how close the ground is to you. So the best place to drop is in valleys, in rivers, over the ocean on the edge if you're trying to get an edge of the map drop. And you just need to loot up a couple of houses and you've got 2 people's worth of loot. And that's how we seem to survive most games. Now, for number 9, it's looting quick. Now, once you're in your area of choice, you need to listen for chests. And once you have at least an assault rifle and a shotgun, you want to move for either coloured upgrades or consumables, because at the end of the day, you're not going to win unless you have something to be able to replenish your health after a firefight. So you're looking for the bandages, the small shields, the big shields, the slurps for when you take a bit of damage. Which leads us into, quite nicely, number 8, which is make sure you use your consumables in the correct order. Now, you might be thinking, what do you mean the correct order? How can there be a correct order? Now, this is for times when you have small shields and big shields. Now, small shields will only heal 25 health, but you can only use them up to 50 health. So if you have small shields and a big shield, you can use 2 small shields and a big shield and you'll be up to 100 health, rather than only being able to get up to the 50. 100 shield trays, should I say. And this is key. Me and Harry share around resources and do that so that we can get that to having as much shield as possible for each player, because it's just, that's what you're trying to do with your consumables. You're trying to maximize the potential. Number 7 is how you're going to play the game in terms of solo, duo or squad. Now, it's all fair enough if you want to play single player, you jump into a solo, you do that yourself, fair enough, you do you. But if you're playing a duo or a squad without people you're talking to, and you're not sharing resources, guns, consumables, all of that, you should not be playing squads or duos. Because at the end of the day, you're in there so that your team can win. And if your team go down, you're going to be facing up to 4 players solo. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, I'm not too bad at the game. I think I can do that. No, you can't. You might be able to do it with against one team, but then what if you come up against 2 teams, 3 teams? You're just going to get ruined. And at the end of the day, what's better? Having one person with all the good weapons and the rest with pistols, or the weapons shared out and being able to be used at the same time? It's just, me and Harry find it a lot that people in squads, because we do play squads sometimes just to switch it up, and people don't share, and it's not just selfish, it's just a way to not let your team win. It's bringing your team down. Number 6 is engaging enemies. Now, you might want to play to get the most kills you can, and that's fair enough if you want to lose. But the thing is, in this game, it's not about the most kills. The game is getting to the end, being the last alive. The game is about survival. And survival does mean not engaging every enemy. If an enemy is too far away, or an enemy is in better cover than you, and they haven't spotted you, do not open fire. The best thing to do is to move to cover, find somewhere where you can get the sort of the best position, and then attack. Because if you do not, again, you will die, and you're not going to survive. That's the whole point of the game mode, is to survive. Number 5 in this list is based around firefights, and it's something I try to incorporate into my game. It's not a lot. It's a little bit hard to incorporate it into your game once you've played it for a while, because it seems stupid, but unless you have a shotgun, the best way to fire at someone is to stay still, crouch, take aim, and fire. The more you move around, the less accurate your firing will be. The only time you should run around and jump to attack is when you have a shotgun. That's the only time it's worth doing it. Otherwise, the best thing to do is calm down, crouch, stay still, and fire. And I've found personally it is easier to tap fire than to just hold down the trigger. This has increased my accuracy and in some ways increased my gameplay, because I get more kills from doing that. Number 4 on our list is anticipation. And you might be thinking, what do you mean anticipation? What I mean by this is checking your map, looking, okay, so the circle's here, that's where I've got to move to, where is everybody else going to be moving from? And if you want to go for some big kill games, you move obviously towards that. If you just want to get to the circle and survive and maybe pick off a few people, you obviously move away from that. It's very sort of situational, I want to put it like that. Number 3 on this list is building isn't always best. And that's very controversial. And I know it is. A lot of people love to build, and they build a lot. Me and Harry find building often gives away your position when you could otherwise gain a better position by not building. You can stay in the woods. We've actually won a game by this, by literally, because they didn't know where we were because we hadn't built. We were just in some woods, we were crouching around trees, moving often, and just getting the jump on them. And we find that it's a lot easier to get to the end and often win by just using other people's structures and not actually having to build ourselves. I mean, if it comes to it, we can build. We're not half bad at building, but it just doesn't suit our gameplay, and that might be where your gameplay is lacking. Now, the second most important one on this list here today is patience. You cannot play the game of just rush. I mean, we like to play rush in Rainbow Six, we know that, but Fortnite, you can camp. I mean, it's not always best to camp, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it's worth camping out a spot, waiting for a bit, maybe waiting for the circle to close a little bit to find where you can move to. Maybe it's so that some people can move past you so you can get behind them and get the jump on them. It's just, you've got to anticipate and patience. That's mixing in one of the point number 4. You have to use your patience for the anticipation. Lastly on our list, and probably the most important point about Fortnite, is you have to use that sound. If you don't have headphones, you're going to be at a major disadvantage. You can hear when chests go, when stuff lands, where people are shooting from, sometimes even where people are moving around you. Sound is the biggest letdown in some people's games. It's saved me and Harry on countless occasions. And if you don't, I would suggest maybe investing in a cheap pair of headphones to start. Literally just, it will improve your game so much. And you have no idea. You'll be thanking me. You will be thanking me. But yeah, that's all for our 10 top tips. If you like this video and want to see more, and you want me to come up with some more Fortnite points, let me know. If you have any yourself that can improve my game, let me know in the comments. It's always much appreciated. like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.